Hey everyone, we are back doing a review for XCOM Declassified. XCOM the Bureau Declassified. It's such a long fucking title.
That's quite big.
But essentially, it was Take-Two's way of trying to make their own Mass Effect. And I had a script kind of written out, and I kind of said, "Fuck the script. I'm just improvising this shit now," because I'm so tired. I'm so done. I've played this game like 5 fucking times now. I'm kind of ready for it to be over. But yeah. So the best way to describe it, actually, I kind of like the way I described it in my script actually when I wrote it, and it was that it's like being at a family reunion, and then you have like one cousin that's like, he's like okay, right? And then you have like his brother who's like cooler and shit, and everyone likes him. And then they have like their cousin that's infinitely more like than the rest of them and shit. And that's how I would describe the situation with XCOM Declassified, the Bureau, or however the fuck you want to pronounce the shit. Yeah, so this is kind of just my general thoughts and shit as the game progresses through. At first I was kind of gonna play it all the way through. That shit never works. And then I have all this editing and shit. I'm gonna just per section I'm gonna just talk it out and shit. So this is like all-in-one review. So if you don't feel like if you don't want to listen to whatever, yeah, I'd say the game's like a good old-fashioned 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. It's not that bad. You just want to make sure you disable the fucking like physics setting, like the physics settings in the settings menu, like under graphics and shit, or like the game is just gonna crash every fucking time. It's kind of crazy too, because I instantly knew what caused it to crash. And if you ever play this game and it crashes, just come all the way down here. This shit right here, turn it off. Just turn it the fuck off. It doesn't work, and it crashes the game. But yeah, the game, the way it starts out is kind of cool. It has like this little house beat and shit that like Director Falk is playing.
Skibbity, 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 toilet. Skibbity, skibbity, toilet. I'm the real Sigma, I watch, now talk to a podcast, it gives me aura. Skibbity, 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 this speaks and don't whisper the alpha.
And he's like in his boardroom with like a bunch of like old, generals and other shit. And he's just playing this fucking house beat, and they're all just sitting around smoking cigars and shit. And then like the one dude's like, yeah, and then, like he turns it off, and he's like, "So, what'd you think of that shit?" And the fucking general's like, "Falk, don't ever take the fucking aux again," and shit. But they're just discussing like, oh yeah, they're fucking aliens, they're dropping like house beats and shit. Then it kind of pans over to the scene change, and it goes to Carter. And Carter's like in his room. I'm pretty sure he's like neck deep into like a bottle of whiskey or something. He's like looking at a picture of his son. He's done like the fucking X-Man meme and shit, where he's like touching the photo and shit, but it's like his dead son or something. And then it's kind of funny because you get this knock at the door, and Carter's like very, I don't know if I said his name, but he's like very wary.
Agent Carter.
Who wants to know?
Your escort. Director.
And shit, even though I'm pretty sure he's on a military base, so I don't know why he's like super wary about anyone, but I guess because the briefcase is like super important and shit. But he's like, he goes to the door and he's just like, "Who is it?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm the escort coming to check on coming to get you." And then like, this is like 1950s, so you got Carter, he's like, "I don't need an escort," right? Like he's like, "I don't pay for pussy." And she's like, "Well, that's why I'm not here to do it." And she's like, "No, I'm just here just to get you the briefcase." And then she's like, so then it's funny because then she starts acting all goofy and shit. She reminds me, the way she starts acting reminds me of that one lady from what's it called, Alien Invasion or something, or golly, I don't remember. It's the one It's the one movie where the fucking big-headed aliens can get killed by like sound or some shit. But it reminds me of that one lady who's like moving super weird, but it's like her personified, or I don't know how else to describe that shit. But in any case, she's like, oh yeah, you haven't opened up the case yet. And he's like, no, like, like why would I? She's like, you're not even the least bit curious. And he's like, no. And then she starts to open this shit, and he's like, yeah, no. He's like, you're a woman, you can't touch that shit. And then she's like, oh, we'll see about that, and like just shoots him.
See about that.
And then she like breaks open the case. It's like this weird blue light, and fucking Carter like whips out his fucking gun and shit. And he's like pissed off. And he's so pissed off he doesn't even realize she already dropped the gun that she shot him with. So you just hear him go, drop it!
Drop it!
And she turns around, this is black cum like on her face and shit, and Carter's like, whoa. Right? Then she like chokes him out, start getting into some real kinky shit and whatnot. Throws him out the glass door. Carter's like trying to, and she goes back to choking him out. And it's funny because Carter's like sitting here trying to reach for like his pistol when he should be like trying to reach for like a piece of glass, something just to kill her and whatnot. But then he blacks out, and there's like an explosion and shit. Then like scene changes. The lady who's trying to choke you out, the escort, she's like burnt to a crisp. Carter's like sitting there. He gets up and shit. The game kind of does this little funny thing where if you walk around the room at certain intervals, he'll start saying like stupid shit like, the body's burnt. Ugh, my head. The briefcase is destroyed.
What the hell? The gunshot. It's healed. Something burned her. But what? The case. What happened? My head.
And then, then you pretty much gotta just exit the fucking room at that rate. And, I don't remember, but Carter has this pistol holster on him. And I think he uses it when he leaves out the door. If he doesn't, he only uses it during the first cutscene, and he never uses the holster again. And he starts just tucking the pistol like behind him and shit. It's so funny having this fucking holster that he doesn't use. So, and I think the reason behind that has to deal with because after you're done with all this shit, Carter gets like this whole outfit, and it's this really weak ass like sweater pants combo. Like when you first get him, he has like this really cool like noir like combo going. He has like the hat and shit, and then he like swaps it out like he's a fucking wet agent or something. I hate it. I really hate it. But yeah, but before we get there, yeah. So Carter's kind of just taking in. He's going through. There's like a fucking invasion and shit. Soldiers are getting like carpet bombed.
What the hell?
Shot up and whatnot. And Carter's just going through it. At some point, you wind up meeting, what's his name? Nils. You want to meet Nils. Of course, you get some combat, right? They throw out the sectoids because sectoids are like the mascots of the fucking game. And they're real easy. I think I'm playing on like veteran difficulty. I'm not playing on commander, but I'm just playing on veteran. And from there, you meet Nils.
Agent Carter, I'm Agent Nils. Director Falk ordered me to...
Falk? Is he still alive?
Last I heard. Grab that two-way over there and try to reach him.
Nils, fucking Carter's like, Nils, where's the director? And he's like, oh yeah, the director's like chilling underneath, listening to like house hip hop or some shit. And he's like, well, we gotta get to him. And so you're sitting there going through it. They're kind of going, it's like the usual tutorial shit. And at some point you come across like this turret, and at this turret it brings up this screen where it is telling you how to like issue commands and stuff.
Keep firing!
Cover and position will keep your agents safe and opens the enemy to attack. You can cue actions for your agents, such as moving to a position and firing on an exposed enemy. Watch for opportunities and make every shot count. The battlefield can be your ally if you use it well.
And what's interesting is if you notice something about this, about how it plays, it's reminiscent to how BioShock does their tutorials whenever they introduce something.
Light up foes to 1,000 degrees. Warning, fire spreads.
And it's because it was originally that the people who originally worked on BioShock was actually supposed to work on that. And then I think after they released BioShock 1, they were split between working on BioShock 2 and working on XCOM. And I think they just put more time in that BioShock 2, which was probably the right choice. But from there, you know, you have to issue a command, you get Nils to go around the side, use critical strike, and they give you this fucking recon. He's a recon unit. There's like 4 classes in the game. As like the story kind of gives them to me, I'll just talk about it. But the recon is shit. That fucker annihilates any and everything. Like I remember after like I think my second and third playthrough, all I had was just a recon, and that's because he just annihilates fucking everything. Like he's all you need. You always need that. So after that tutorial, it kind of goes through like a bunch of other shit. I'm trying to remember because I can't remember if it's like before then, if it like separates you and you give you like a fucking A14 and shit. But it don't matter. But it's like what happens after that is funny. Is after you get past like Nils' combat sequence, you end up coming across like these sectors that are like trying to like gangbang this pilot. And it's funny because you can take a shot at them and they don't do nothing, but when you get near them, they just drag them away so they can continue like their little green slash or whatnot. And it's funny because Carter's like, oh, we couldn't do anything for him. And it's like, he didn't even fucking try, Carter. Ooh, Carter, stop. Watch this.
Nothing we could do for him.
Poor bastard.
It's so funny. You didn't even try. Really, the game just don't let you save him. But it's just funny to think that you could have just walked up, not shot, and be like, oh, we couldn't do anything for him. And it's like, you have guns. You have guns. But, so, going off of that, you want to playing until you get to this part where, you know, you have the entrance to get to the underground bunker. And after you kind of kill the first set of enemies, and I think that's when they introduce you to, like, the bigger, like, outsiders or whatever they're called. You're waiting for the elevator to come, and you wind up having to deal with, it's supposed to be a wave-based kind of dealio, where they send down this pod that teleports enemies in. The issue is the recon has this very fun ability called the airstrike. And basically it just, I mean, it does what it says. It just sends down a multitude of like fucking artillery onto this fucking spot. And what's funny about how it works is that if you put it on that transporter thing, it will probably kill the enemies that are teleporting out of it, and then it will probably destroy the teleporter, which means you just don't even have to deal with the whole wave thing. So that's the other reason why recon absolutely is the best. You can do that. That's like a little, I don't want to say speed strat. It's a little tip that you can do. Like if you're calling in enemies, just make sure you have an airstrike ready, and just fucking don't even deal with it. But from there, shit, hit my mic. From there, you know, you take the elevator down. I think when you get down there, and I want to say this too, you can really tell the BioShock team worked on it because you had like these little moments where it feels like you're in the that submersible like tank thing, and it's going through Rapture, and it comes up, and it's like you see the dude getting like fucking massacred because he's at the thing trying to get you and whatnot. It feels like that.
Just let me go. You my gun.
because you see this dude getting fucking rocked by this fucking outsider and shit.
If anyone's loyal to Falk, it's those two. The hell are those? Jesus! Holy hell.
Poor bastard. We never stood a chance.
He's getting turned out by him pretty much. But you get down there, to the basement or whatever, and it gives you the shotgun. The shotgun's okay. I like it. I like using it. I think it's just because it's a Winchester. And a Winchester always feels good in my hands. But, I think you fight through like another set of like sectoids and outsiders. If you don't, it don't really matter. But this whole time they're also trying to include Illyrium into the story and whatnot. It don't even matter. Like Illyrium is like the least important thing about the story, as opposed to like the first evil within. God damn it, enemy within. There's a bit of emphasis on Illyrium, why it's important. But you finally meet Director Falk, and it's funny because when you get into the room, you have this military dude go like, stop right there, and you see this Carter do this really weird like hand gesture thing. It's funny, like hold on, I know him. I'm with him. Like he does this really funny hand gesture thing. I don't know, and it's a bit flamboyant, but the Falk is like, oh, he's with me, and pretty much Falk is giving you the rundown. But this is where they introduced the dialogue wheel, and this is where they really wanted it to be Mass Effect 3. And I think Mass Effect 3 was the recent one that came out. They wanted it to be Mass Effect 3, and it wasn't. And the problem is that they present you these choices, and it's like Cyberpunk, right? Where you get these choices at intervals at what I'm trying to say here, intervals at key moments, quote unquote key moments throughout the game, but they don't really matter. Like the only thing that decides the ending for Declassified or the Bureau, we're just gonna call it the Bureau for just to simplify this shit. The only choice that matters is the end choice, and I'm not going to talk about it right now because we're going to start. We're going to ease you right into it. You have these funny choices or these dialogues at certain moments where you pretty much have Carter be serious, or you could have him be sort of a dick.
You had an artifact to deliver. Do you have it? You may not have noticed down here, but people are dying up there. I would have been one of them if that thing hadn't healed me. Interesting.
But after that, Falk gives you Kenny, and Kenny's a engineer, so he gets like the turret. He also gets his really cool scatter ability. It kind of makes enemies stop being in place, and he also gets this mine. I don't think I used it at all during the mission, but it's really good. Like you can use the mine for a couple things. You can use the mine to cover your flank, because sometimes the enemies will try to like run behind you. You can use it to like scatter and then put a mine there, and that will also kills the enemy and whatnot. And then of course you have the turret that's just suppressive fire. He's a pretty good support character. I used him probably a majority of my first playthrough, and then the second and third playthrough I don't think I used him as much. But in any case, you guys are kind of going through, and you finally get to like the war room.
General Deems, are you all right, sir?
And General Deems is there, and General Deems is like, well, it's about damn time. I think all the while, I think in the back of your mind, you also remember that Falk had said something about like, oh yeah, Agent Weaver went to go secure the brass. But so you're chilling there, and this is where like the Mass Effect 2 influence kind of comes in, because they introduce Weaver almost like how Miranda gets introduced in 2, where this person you trust, you're about to leave, and she shoots him.
General!
Clear the target, now!
Come on, through here. We're almost at the... Miranda, but you were...
Dead?
Of course, that's not exactly saying they took that idea from Mass Effect 2, but it feels very reminiscent to it. So in any case, she's like, clear the target and shit. And she's shooting this general. And you gotta understand, like, you don't know who the hell she is. And Carter, rightfully so, just goes stops her, and she's like, he's infected. Blah, blah, blah. And he like, Carter's like, what? And so like he like. The general does this very funny thing where he pushes the one agent off of him. He's like, man, get the fuck off of me and shit, right? And then we just light his ass up. And Carter's definitely like, what the fuck? Like, why would you do some shit like that without really saying anything? Which again makes sense, because it's just goofy to just come down and just shoot a general and act like it's not a weird thing. But in any case, you fucking talk to her, and this is really weird moment where it's like, okay, the brass is dead, most of the fucking people here are dead, let's leave. And I think I've played this so many times and I still don't understand the reason behind it.
We have to get out of here. Falk ordered us to bring any survivors to the rail platform.
The diesel will only get you as far as the test site.
Can we radio for evac from there?
We're nearly out of time. Get to the rail platform and head out to the test site. I'll call in a Sky Ranger, collect Falk, and meet you there. If you can't reach the test site, we'll have no choice but to leave without you.
But essentially, she's like, yeah, we can, you guys go to the rail platform, we'll get the Sky Ranger and meet you at the rail platform. And I'm like, but why? Like, bitch, what? What do you mean we're gonna why can't I go with y'all? So it's a very funny thing. I think they were trying to look for an excuse for like the little end sequence. But you wind up going through, you're just killing outsiders. And you finally get to the rail platform. All the while, you're learning about because earlier on they're shooting things into the ground. And you're like, well, what are they doing? And then you kind of see what they were doing with the things they were shooting in the ground, and they're just terraforming.
Look at that thing!
You two, hang on! God damn it! Can't this thing go any faster?
The Earth or whatever, that area, they're starting to terraform it. It's a really cool scene. Like it's definitely a cool scene. That whole scene is super cool. But you get to the platform, you call up the Sky Rangers, like, yeah, we're ready to get picked up. Again, I don't know why, but yeah, we're ready to get picked up. And it's funny because then you get hit with golly, what is his name? I always forget his name, but it's a black guy. And again, I'm shocked I didn't hear Carter say something like when the guy was like,
Falk, Agent Weaver, anyone?
Yeah, man, I'm on my way. I'm shocked to hear Carter go, oh, I didn't realize we were employing the Tuskegee Airmen. So you wind up doing another wave thing. You're fighting them, blah blah blah. And Carter gets this idea where he's like, "Hey, how come we just don't launch a nuke into the ground?" And Falk is like, "You fucking moron! We can't do that like that." And then like, Tuskegee Airman just like,
Test sequence. It's the only way to keep him from following us. And get some payback.
Carter.
"Well, actually, sir, I think that would be a good idea. In fact, the Sky Ranger, even though it has top taxpayer dollar, can't escape those guys." And Falk is like, "Ah, shit, you're right." So you're doing this countdown sequence. Sky Ranger comes, picks y'all up, y'all get the fuck out, and fucking nuke goes off and shit. So from there, it picks up to you guys arriving at the base and shit. Also, I forgot to mention, there's like several moments where they're like glazing the hell out of Carter. Like, they're just sucking his cock.
Nice shot. You're good, Carter.
I used to be.
Bullshit. Falk wouldn't be interested in you if you weren't the best.
We'll see. That's it. Let's move on.
I see why Falk wants you for the Bureau, Carter.
That's what I told him.
But you get to this base and shit, and they're kind of not harping on Carter, but they're definitely, yeah, you know, you weren't supposed to really know about this place, but now we're using it. So you get a tour of the place.
Carter, this is Nico Da Silva, Senior Field Agent. Nico, you'll be sharing your workspace with Agent Carter.
Welcome to the most advanced facility on Earth.
And you meet Da Silva. Now, Da Silva's fucking awesome. But realistically, you don't get to see Da Silva in action until you get to the DLC. Which it don't matter because his gameplay is virtually the same as Carter. But Da Silva's a cool person. I like Da Silva. I like his character a lot. Especially like when you get towards like the end and shit. Da Silva's fucking awesome. He's a homie. But again, I'm shocked I didn't hear like 1950s Carter just going like, "Oh, do you have a green card?" And then it's kind of funny because at some point when he's like meeting Da Silva is just like, "Oh, you mind if I call you Will?" And Carter's like,
So, this is us. This is my desk here. Yours is over there. Get comfortable, Will. Things as they are. This is both your office and your quarters. Do you mind if I call you Will?
"Do you mind if I call you Eduardo?" And Da Silva's like, "Well, no, actually." And he's like, "We're gonna get along just fine." And whatnot.
I prefer William.
Yeah, well, I prefer Nico, even if my mother insists on calling me Nicholas. There are some things that are just beyond our control.
I can see we'll be fast friends, you and I.